situation and maybe how it affected the last game, really.
Yeah, we're. I don't know if we're coming out of the woods at all yet. To be honest, with the injuries, we practiced at the beginning of the week. It was decimated. I had basically four fit guys at practice. There was seven guys in total there. We've got Drew. We thought after the Sheffield game that he had fractured his cheekbone, but luckily got him back down here. He went to hospital and the X-ray showed he hadn't, which was remarkable really, because it certainly looked like he had. I've seen fractured cheekbones before, and it just looked like he had, didn't it? The dent on the side of his face. And the Sheffield doctor thought that as well as a number of other people. But luckily, thankfully, it's not. Gaylon seems to be recovering a little bit better from the toe injury. Anthony Martin had a knee problem after the Sheffield game. He came back to practice midweek. D'Antoine kind of re-aggravated his shoulder, but not to an extent where he shot around on Tuesday, and by Wednesday he was back to full contact. Terence is out, as we know. Cabana seems okay back off the ankle. Haggai's hand is just getting taped for every practice. So
as a coach, I mean, what do you do for games? I mean,
we struggle. I mean, do you mean actual games in practice or games in
the actual game?
Oh, game day. It is a struggle. I mean, Sheffield. I mean, talking that game. I mean, we didn't play particularly well, but we were in the game right up to the half, really. But the injuries, I felt, took their toll. I mean, D'Antoine hurt that shoulder in the game, so that was in his mind. He was struggling a bit with that. We lost Drew in the 6th minute of the first quarter. That's a big loss. In Sheffield, they're just a very, very physical, big team. I mean, they are big, as in start a guard and then 4 guys between 6'5" and 6'9". Now we could do that. Maybe, but we've got guys out of position on it. So I just felt that it was one of those games, and I said to the guys afterwards, they do come around once in a while, normally 1 or 2 a season, where we just never seem to clock in. And as much as we were sweating and the guys were trying hard, you just felt that we just couldn't get our run. Something would happen, we lost Drew, and Cat's shoulder injury, then Martin went down in the beginning of the 4th quarter, and we were chasing the game then anyway, and you just got to take that one on the chin. I think we've been playing some good basketball previous to that, and all sites now are focused on the Leicester game.
And how's the prep been going for that?
Better than prep has been in the last few weeks, because of by Wednesday we could do some full court work, which was always good. The guys want to get involved in full court work. You don't want to shoot for 4 days. You want to be competitive with each other and try to build around a game plan type of thing. And thankfully we've had this week from Wednesday onwards some time to have 10 guys at practice, because I've been using Jay Marriott and Jamie Birchall from the Division 2 team. Their season's done now, and that's really good that those 2 guys can come in and they know the players, because we run the same system through the club, and obviously Jamie was part of the BBL setup for many a year. So that's been one positive thing this week, and hopefully that'll stand us in good stead for the Leicester game.
I mean, considering where we are in the championship and the run of games we got coming up, I mean, it's a very important little.
This is it now. This is do or die part of the season, and getting to the playoffs is a big thing, obviously, and we know I don't know if technically we're in there yet, or there might be one game we need to win. But we're still in shouting for the top 4 spot, and this game of the weekend is biggest game of the season, because Leicester are tied with us. We're currently 1-0 up in the series. They have another tough game on Sunday because they go to Scottish Rocks. If we can take care of business on Saturday and then go into Guildford 18-11, if we can get a win at Guildford, then we've won the head-to-head with them anyway. But that brings them back to 11 defeats. So. It's all. The good thing is, Dave, I always say as a player when I played, and also as a coach, if it's in your hands, it's always thankful. You've got you're 1 up on the ladder anyway if it's in your hands. What you don't want to be doing is thinking, oh well, what's this team doing this week, or what's the 5th place team doing? You just don't want. You want to think, right, we've got 5 games left. If we win all 5, we should be technically probably finish third. Well, we will finish third if we win all 5. That's a big ask. It's a big ask if you're fully healthy, never mind, you know, carrying injuries. But like I said, the injuries, I'm not one to make excuses. People do make excuses for that, and I can understand it, but, you know, it doesn't sit too well in my stomach with that, really. And you know,
Terence has made a big dent, presumably.
Oh, of course he does, because he's, you know, every player brings something to the table in my team, and, you know, Terence brings an awful lot of rebound and power, tenacious at the defensive end. He's not a scorer, you know, he's not a big time point scorer, but what he does is brings that intensity to the table, and the other guys have got to step up. I mean, you know, if we don't step up, you know, we'll get to the playoffs, but we won't finish it the way we want to finish the season. We want to finish the season at the NIA. That's what we want to do. You know, get to the NIA, and then it's kind of a lottery then, because it's back-to-back games. If you do win the first game, obviously you're through to the final. And you know, it kind of, you know, I don't remember a lot about last year's Final Four because of my illness, and I just want to try to get there healthy as a coach. Never mind getting the team there healthy, and be prepared myself to coach, you know, for a championship game there. But we've got a long way to go to get to that, and it starts at Leicester on Saturday, and it's the biggest game of the season, because, you know, Rob will be saying the same thing there, Coach Rob Paternostra, because he knows if he defeats us, that puts us on 12. They have to come to us Easter holiday weekend, but mentally, you know, if you're coming to us and they've already beaten us the week before, they're going to have something really positive in their brain then. We want to go up there and take the win from them, and then move on to Guildford on Wednesday.
Well, good luck on that. Finally, I understand you've, as a club, know RIOT.
Yeah, that's a pretty... I know Newcastle and Worcester have done that in the past, and it's kind of like Damon Lenzer's, you know, came up with the idea and talked to me briefly about it. I mean, I haven't got that involved in it. I looked through what was going ahead on the website, what things I needed to be put into that, and it's, you know, it's a good idea. I mean, 9th and 10th of June, it'll be a select band of players. If we can get enough to the table where we can hold it, I think, you know, the way it looks already, it's only been up and running for a couple of days, and we've had quite a bit of interest from some guys who you could think, well, definitely I want to take a look at them. And it's in its infancy, because really it hasn't been put out to Europe yet on Eurobasket, which is the biggest site basically in the world for people to hit. So a lot of agents hit that, a lot of players who haven't got agents hit it as well, and it's really handy if for players, if they're in Britain or in Europe anyway during the summer, trying to go to tryouts, because they are held in Europe, and like I said, Worcester and Newcastle have held them in previous seasons. They could tie it in with us. That'd be great. And, you know, if I pick up one guy, that'll be fantastic. If, you know, if it's just a good exercise, and we can think, well, yeah, it worked this year, you know, we need to tweak it here and there for next year, then that's fantastic as well. But we'll just see. I mean, it's exciting, because gives people the opportunity, players, to come here and showcase their talents, and we get to see them in the flesh, which is a big thing, you know, rather than recruiting over the phone or by DVD. I always like to get a feel for somebody, you know, in the flesh type of thing, how they are, not just on the court, but big is how they are off the court as well.
Sorry, final question.
Yeah, that's right.
The thought process obviously is very much in the now in terms of the league, but you're with RIOT and other things, you're thinking, well, the club is thinking of the future. Do you look as a coach now and look at your current squad and think yes for next season as well? Not
really. I mean, it's time of play. It's all I'm concentrating on is 5 games in the playoffs. That's all you can do. You can't. It's such a crucial time. You can't let your mind think ahead, you know, past May the 3rd. You know, when all the guys are out of contract by then. You know, you've got to just think of what we've got to do over the next few weeks. This is the biggest part of the season now. You know, end of season, fighting for a top 4 spot, fighting for a, you know, good playoff position, and then ultimately the playoffs. You know, the one game that can get you to the NIA, or, you know, win or lose, you win, you go through. If you lose, your season's over.